Did you know that extensive research suggests that emotional intelligence is a much better predictor of success than academic intelligence? Research suggests that IQ accounts for only 20% of our success in life. The remaining 80% comes from non IQ factors like luck, social class, and emotional intelligence. The thing is, no matter how smart you are, you won't do well in life if you can't manage your emotional impulses. Hi, my name is Vicky, and welcome to Growth Reads with Vicky. This is a space where we explore books, ideas, and insights that help us grow personally and professionally. Today, we're talking about a topic that is very dear to my heart: emotional intelligence. We're going to be asking ourselves, what is emotional intelligence? Why does it matter more often than we are taught? By the end of this video, you'll be able to understand: one, what emotional intelligence is and why academic intelligence alone cannot guarantee you success. Two, why emotional intelligence predicts better outcomes. And three, why self control is not necessarily about suppressing your emotions, but about making thoughtful choices alongside the intuition that comes from your emotions. You see, emotional intelligence shapes how we see our skills, how we see opportunities, and how we connect with people. For a long time, society has emphasized grades, academic intelligence, and credentials, but research now shows that how we manage our emotions actually has bigger impact on life success. And if that's the case, then we must begin to ask ourselves, what exactly is emotional intelligence? To define emotional intelligence, we must begin by understanding what emotions are and then what intelligence is. Emotions are just strong impulses designed to guide action. They have helped human beings survive danger and protect themselves for centuries. For example, in the olden days, if a person had a rustle in the bushes at night, fear would trigger them to freeze or run to avoid predators. If someone threatened the tribe, family, anger would help generate the energy to confront or defend. Joy and love helped humans build social bonds, cooperate, and create communities which were essential for survival. And in modern life, the same emotions still guide us, but in different ways. Fear might make you pause before walking down a dark street or prompt you to take safety precautions. Anger might push you to set boundaries or speak up when someone is disrespecting you. Love helps us connect deeply with friends, partners, and colleagues, building relationships that support personal and professional growth. See, intelligence then is the ability to perceive information and retain it as knowledge and apply it to adapt to our environment. So, whether it's anger, fear, joy, love, each emotion serves a purpose in guiding your actions. From these examples, it is clear that our systems are ancient. The body and the brain we have today is shaped by thousands of years of survival in environments that are very different from our modern world. Yet our lives now in modern, fast-paced and high social, there can be a mismatch that creates challenges if we rely on autopilot, which is why we must begin to teach our systems to adapt to modern life and present realities. For example, imagine someone who grew up in a home with constant tension and chaos. As a child, they may have learned that silence was a safe response, to not speak, to avoid conflict. That system was formed for survival in that environment. But now, in adulthood and in modern life, healthy relationships and workplaces, silence may no longer serve them. Another example is like someone who grew up and they were taught that when they're angry, they can raise their voice, slam doors, or hit objects. As a child, they may have seen this as a way to release energy or assert themselves. But in modern life, these responses can create problems. Yelling at a boss, slamming a door in a relationship, or giving the silent treatment may not work, and it can damage relationships as well as limit opportunities. Or consider someone who grew up in a household where emotions were dismissed and crying was seen as weakness or expressing frustration was punished. They may have learned that to suppress their feelings entirely was the right thing. As adults, they might struggle to assert boundaries, communicate effectively, or process conflict in healthy ways. For instance, imagine someone who grew up in a household where emotions were dismissed. Crying was seen as a weakness, or expressing frustration was punished. In adulthood, during a disagreement, the emotional brain might immediately decide, I cannot show my anger, I'll stay quiet and give the silent treatment. Or when corrected at work, they may avoid speaking up, even if they were right, because they learned a long time ago that expressing themselves had consequences. See, the intensity of these reactions is not always about the moment itself. It's often the result of many years of unprocessed emotions and repeated patterns. This is why the emotional mind can hijack the rational mind, making us act fast and explain later. Understanding these examples helps us see that our impulses are not bad. They are deeply ingrained in survival mechanisms, but our environments have changed, and so must our responses. Learning emotional intelligence means pausing, recognizing these impulses, and choosing responses that fit modern realities. It's about adapting our ancient systems to live effectively today. Learning emotional intelligence then means teaching these two parts of the brain to work together, especially in very intense moments. These skills must be learned. It's important because in relationship, it allows conflicts to be handled better. At work, feedback can be received and processed more effectively. We must also consider cultural context when talking about this, because in many African societies, emotion expression was not prioritized. Strength is often associated with like silence or endurance. For example, if you were taught that keeping quiet is a sign of strength, you might remain silent even when it's important to speak up, whether in relationships, workplace, community settings, authority. Sometimes authority figures may also discourage questioning, making it hard to express emotions or seek clarification even decades later. See, when emotions are not processed over long periods, they can show up as anger, shutting down, fear of correction, misuse of power, and other challenges. Emotional intelligence then is not about suppressing these emotions. No, it's about feeling them fully, recognizing them, and choosing how to act thoughtfully. It's also about pausing in the moment between feeling an emotion and experiencing an impulse and taking action. This pause allows space for awareness, so that instead of reacting on autopilot, like hearing a sound in the bush and running without thinking, you can access, was it the mind, my imagination, or a real threat? Awareness gives you a choice instead of reaction. This is a skill that can be learned. And in the next video, we will break down exactly how to recognize what you're feeling, understand your emotions, and respond to them in a healthy and constructive way. I do hope, however, that you've come out with understanding exactly what emotional intelligence is. See you in the next video.